What's up, guys? It's about 12:50 now. Just about getting ready here. I'm gonna walk into a new spot on this property. This spot I'm going into is actually a spot my dad was in on Sunday, and he saw a really nice buck come through there. It was out of range, but either way, he hadn't earned the buck yet. However, with that last doe that I got on Saturday, I qualify for a buck now, so I can get a buck off this property and anywhere in this county really, but just gonna get out there, give it my best shot, see if they're moving. They were definitely chasing a couple days ago. I already seen a few when I pulled in, and who knows, any other buck could show up, but I know there's nice ones out here, so just gonna get this stuff packed up, get the stand and the bow, and I'll see you guys from the tree. Alrighty, all set up here. All in all, I'm about 300 or 400 yards to the west from where I shot that doe on Saturday. My dad had set up just in front of me. And that buck came right out of this private, and then a big chunk of timber. It looks pretty good back here. Got my wind blowing back out into the fields. So it's about 1:30 now. Got plenty of time, but they could be moving early. The only thing is it's a little warmer than I expected. It's about 50 degrees now. It's definitely going to cool off as the sun sinks down, but it's November, so they should be up and moving. Gonna keep my fingers crossed and hope that a good buck comes my way. Pretty good start there. I don't even know what time it is. It's 2:19, and I just had that nice little 2.5-year-old 8-point walk literally right under my stand here. That was exactly what I want him to do. And like I said, that's what you get this time of year. Bucks up on their feet in the middle of the day, early afternoon. I don't know if the camera showed it pretty well, but he had a really tough looking injury on his left side of his face. Looked like he might have even been blind in the left eye. I just need a bigger one to do that. That's a pretty cool encounter. There's definitely a hot doe over there. I see one little fork and one other bigger buck. I still don't think it's a shooter, but pretty good. Pretty good start. It's only like 2:25 now. field. I originally thought that was the hot doe, but there's another doe in the thick timber at this point. There's a bigger buck following her. He pushed off that smaller one that walked right by me. He also pushed off a little spike. And now he's got that doe out on this point. Hoping he pushes her this way. They're in and out of this thick timber, so it's hard to get the camera on. Wind is supposed to be blowing that way, which is why I set up here. But since I first got eyes on these deer, it's been blowing more that way. And that buck just winded me and blew. So the odds of him coming through here are pretty much zero. There's a couple of other deer that are milling around on the other side of this point that I'm on. Right now my game plan is to leave the set up and just pack out my bow and my camera and get back out here tomorrow morning. And hopefully then they'll work their way through here if I manage to get out of here without spooking them. That will be a tall order. Like I said, I can hear him just walking around out there. And these leaves are super crunchy. I'm gonna definitely wait until it's pitch black. Get on down and just as slow as possible work my way away from them. I'll see y'all from the stand in the morning. Here we are, folks. Settled in. It's about 1:30. So in here nice and early. Got a bite to eat. I'm in this same area where I shot that doe on a Saturday. I'm probably about 250, 300 yards from where I was this morning. Confirmed that buck was not in that finger. However, pulling in right at the gate on the other side of the driveway, there was a buck bedded down with a doe. Pretty nice 8-point. I like this spot a lot. It's a finger of woods with, I don't know, 5 or 6 different tree lines from 4 different fields all meeting at this timber in the middle. I have a shot to 2 of the field edges. This series of trails all through here, so hopefully deer are moving through here tonight. We'll see. I'm hoping to catch a buck cruising, or maybe even one with a doe like we had yesterday. It's a beautiful evening. As I mentioned, it's a nice steady south wind. It's taking my scent straight down this ditch behind me. Hopefully it's the right recipe for some good deer movement. Even more so at buck in range, but we'll see. Much of that you guys saw. I was trying to get the camera on him, but that's that same buck from yesterday. It looks like he's dropped that doe, but I hit the rattling antlers maybe 10 minutes ago and set him down and kind of relaxed. And I look back into the field, maybe like 60 yards away from me. I see him coming right at me. When he peeked over that hill, he can see straight down into this bottom. And he didn't see a buck, so immediately got suspicious, and of course he circled and got downwind. And that's when things went south. He didn't like fully blow out of here, but he did mound off, back up the way he came, he decides to come back through, or maybe another one does. We'll see. Good afternoon, everyone. It is November the 20th. It's just about 12 o'clock and getting out for the afternoon. I took this morning off, which is the first morning I've taken off in like 7 days. So little wind knocked out of me from yesterday. No pun intended. It was really windy, and instead of leaving you guys with like a 40-minute video of some good deer movement, to be honest, I'm just going to recap my week so far. Just the high octane moments. I had that one afternoon sit a few days ago now where I had a shooter buck at 60 yards tending a doe for close to 2 or 3 hours. First sighting was at like 1 o'clock, and he was pushing her all around this point of woods and eventually worked off out of sight. And it sounded like it was either him or the other deer that were around him ended up working past me close to 5 or 10 minutes after legal hunting. So I hardly saw anything. I just heard him moving. Got back out there the next morning, had a lot of deer movement, a lot of little bucks out there, just none that I were looking to shoot. Ended up changing gears for that afternoon and heading out to another spot about 300 yards away from where that was, and hit the rattling antlers once, and around 4 o'clock, which was about 10 minutes after I hit the antlers together, this buck come he was walking through the field directly at me. The only issue was that I was in a little creek bottom that was pretty open, and the moment he got over the hill of the field, he could see down into there. Never saw a buck and got suspicious and ended up working away. Then about an hour later, he came back and just did a 60-yard circle around me and never came into bow range. That was the last time that I saw that buck, and the direction he was headed. I ended up hitting 2 different blocks of timber in that direction. The first, he really didn't turn up anything. It was a pretty uneventful morning sit, and that afternoon, however, went really well. Had some chasing, saw 2 or 3 really nice looking young deer, and then this really good looking 10-pointer that I definitely shoot came through with some sort of leg injury. He was limping very badly, and he stayed out at 60 yards walking along this creek, never got any closer, so I just had to watch him walk away. That pretty much wraps up the week. Other than that, yesterday was some good doe movement. I had a couple of does at about 20 yards, and a group of 4 or 5 of them came through in the morning. Just nothing I wanted to shoot in. I'm just looking for that buck right now. I can get a doe pretty much any other time, but since I'm taking the time off, I want to try to capitalize on a nice buck out here. We'll see if this afternoon turns up anything. The weather's a lot better today. Got a nice south wind, and it's looking like it's going to be good for this spot that I was in when I saw that nice 10-pointer. Hopefully he's working back through there. He comes a little closer. I haven't decided which tree I'm going to go into yet. Either the one I was in last time, or might try to move a little closer to that trail that these deer were walking on that afternoon. So gonna get the bag packed up, get the stand, the bow, and I'll see you guys from the tree. Alright, settled into the stand here, same exact tree I was in the other day, and as I'm setting up, I catch deer moving along the property line. When you know, I get my binos on, and there's a nice buck. So he was feeding from right to left, but kind of angling towards me. Super quiet setting up, so the wind covered me too. Hopefully they come through here. I'm gonna try to get eyes on them, see if I can't hit the grunt a couple times, get him curious, get him come over here. Fingers crossed, hopefully he comes through before the end of the day. It's 10 to 1, so I got plenty of time. That worked great. Pretty sure that's the buck that I saw over there. I thought he was bigger, but he was pretty far away when I got on him. But I hit that grunt. He came on a string right to me. Passed through at like 40 yards, but got a good look at him. He's a young deer. Never even crossed my mind to grab my bow. So hopefully as the day goes on they get bigger. But it's off to a good start here. Left a camera light here. It's been a pretty good afternoon. I think I've seen 12 deer, like 4 or 5 bucks. The nicest one being that 6-pointer that came through with his nose down cruising. It's good to see, but just not the right one coming through. Like I said, there's still 5 or 10 minutes left here, so there's potential that we can have a shooter come through here. But just because I still have good light, I'm going to do my closing interview now. And not sure if I'm going to be getting out tomorrow. Obviously, if I do, you guys will be there with me, but it was an awesome week. A lot of action, a lot of deer sightings, just a lot of little bucks out here on this property, and the ones that I did determine to be shooters lucked out, always skirted me and stayed out to 50 or 60 yards, never came into range, so that's hunting. I had an awesome week. I'm definitely going to be getting out 2 or 3 times for the rest of the season per week, but definitely not as much as I did this week. I hit it hard, had a lot of fun, learned a lot, and I'm glad you guys tuned in for it. This is going to close me out for this week, close me out for this evening sit. Appreciate y'all watching, and I'll catch you from the woods next time.